Welcome, everyone. Quick update from Guildhall Wealth here. Yesterday, we recorded the show on Thursday. Today's Friday, and we just didn't get a chance to get to everything on the show. But we were talking about, Jerry, on the show that this past week and last week, there's been a whole lot of crypto talk in the mainstream media. And we've seen a bit of a pullback in precious metals, especially this week, and that sort of plays into it. But we just wanted to look at all of the things that we're seeing here that indicate that we shouldn't quite be forgetting about gold and silver right now. So I wanted to just go over some of those things that we've been seeing.
Jeremy, obviously, we have a lot of things to pay attention to. Euphoria is on an all-time high with many asset classes, stock markets, crypto. But we have to be cognizant of what's going on in the metals market. Huge drawdowns are happening out of the COMEX. Huge drawdowns are coming out of the LBMA. Further, traders have immense short positions in the silver market. Silver is the market's Achilles heel to all of the derivatives markets. Silver has that influence, has that power to right all the wrongs. So there's been a lot of drawdowns. People are standing for deliveries. We're seeing tremendous. We were actually just prior to the election, silver was hitting $35 an ounce, that was definitely painting the shorts. Financial industry companies, banks have been losing millions, billions of dollars on their short positions. And we're seeing repatriations, countries taking delivery out of certain countries and bringing it home. People are standing for delivery, and we needed some of these short positions needed to get rinsed out. So we needed a drop in the market. Shortly after the Trump trade came in, the legacy media is somehow saying that Trump is, and his central bankers are going to be keeping rates high. So the U.S. dollar skyrocketed to a 2-month or 2-year high, dropping metals. They got out of these short positions. And then further coupling into that, you have the onslaught of, let's look over at the Michael Saylor trade and what he's been doing, right? And really pumping up the Bitcoin market. And it's been, in my opinion, a huge dissuasion and a distraction away from the metals markets. But we can't be distracted, because as these companies are going long in Bitcoin, countries are remaining long on gold and building the reserves handsomely.
And not only that, when we start to look at what's happening in the United States, state by state, you start to see a completely different narrative than what you're seeing on mainstream news. So the narrative that I'm seeing right now is crypto's the thing. It is the future. We're entering a brave new world. It's sell your gold, sell your silver. That's a barbarous relic, right? It's come back
Of course.
again, right? It's
Mhm.
being used again. And of course, when we look at what's actually happening, as one example, state by state, you
Yeah.
mentioned, central banks are buying, countries are repatriating, COMEX, they're draining the inventories. It's going somewhere. Someone's buying it. But state by state, they've been getting rid of taxation on the metals. They've been trying to, Texas, I saw they did a bill within the last couple months talking about using gold and silver for money. And then now, the out of Florida, we're seeing an even bigger move towards that as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have to look at the US, because the US has the world's reserve currency, right? So our focus must be on constitutional money and what the Constitution talks about. Um, Many states are right now working. About 45 states, as you mentioned, are on board removing taxes and looking at ways to bridge the gap and remonetize gold and even silver, and to promote constitutional money. You have Wyoming, Utah, Texas, Arizona, a few other states are going to be coming on board. But you brought up Jimmy Patronis, the CFO of Florida, and what's very interesting, and he's in line with um, constitutional money as well. Who is he? So he's the CFO of you know of Florida, and he's looking at he's launching a study right now on how to make gold and silver the legal currency of Florida and how to implement that into day-to-day transactions, which is very, very, very key. And it comes in line. I mean, if you look at what's been going on in the states, Trump is now setting up his office. Matt Gaetz is going to be stepping down from Congress, and Jimmy Patronis is that very person that Trump wants and has been asking Jimmy Patronis, who is a gold guy, to step in and take that seat. And this is a very important thing because we have to look at what's been passed over the last couple of years. Yes, states are removing taxes on precious metals. They're building depositories for precious metals, massive depositories. But there was a bill that was passed, which is HR 9157 in the House of Representatives. Mr. Mooney, Alex Mooney, footed this bill to define the dollar as a fixed weight of gold once again. So it's called the Gold Standard Restoration Act. So we're seeing a massive move in the US, and it's a silent move. And it's something that is not creating, this big euphoria and the wave of excitement, but it's happening. Gold and silver are going to be remonetized in the US. This is the reason why we're seeing the Gold Standard Restoration Act, because the US has to do something about the US dollar, right? It's got to bring it back.
Yeah, I think that again, you're seeing this dovetails nicely. You're seeing the mainstream media is really pushing the idea of technology, cryptocurrencies. This is the future. Get rid of your gold. And even in some ways, the Trump administration is pushing that too, right? The people are jumping on with who he's hiring in the administration to replace Gary Gensler, these type of things. Everyone's really strong on, they're crypto enthusiasts. But at the same time, when you look at the other side, Congress and the bills they're putting forth, and the next replacement potentially for Matt Gaetz, you see all these other moves that are gold related. So I wonder if some point along the line here, we're going to see gold start to play a role. We know that that's the case. We know that going forward, the future is not just electronic. The future will include precious metals along the way. We're just not quite sure how it's going to all play out, but you can start to see, here's the big news. Here's what's getting dialed up. But don't forget about what's going on behind the scenes with all these bills, enacting laws, potential studies on how physical gold and silver could back the dollar, et cetera, how it could be used as money day to day. So I think these are really good things just to remember not to forget about gold and silver at this point. And I think to what you said earlier, the fact that we've had these pullbacks in the market, which if you follow the dude on X, he's tracking that every single day, just how much paper is being sold off here to get the price down to a point where these shorts can get out of their positions. It's really something to behold right now. And certainly having been in this market for well over a decade, you just get a sense that when you get these pullbacks, something big is about to happen. They're trying to prevent a run, or a run is about to happen. Either way,
Yeah.
it's always good for the metals. Some final words to wrap up here, Jerry?
Yeah, I think we've got to keep an eye on what Patronis does and what he says, and we want to keep an eye on this study and how they're going to really implement gold and silver to become, how do you use gold and silver for daily purchases? You and I were talking earlier; they could definitely tokenize it, and the tokenization of a state-backed crypto that is backed by gold. We have to be that's going to put it up against the big boy of Bitcoin, right? So it's all about utility, and we need a quicker payment. We know that the Bitcoin payments are very slow. I mean, we take Bitcoin as payment for gold and silver. It's very slow, but we'll have to wait and see how this develops. His quote on gold and silver, Patronis said, "This is an exciting initiative. It has the potential for enormous growth in our state, Florida. Gold and silver have been trusted assets for thousands of years, and it makes perfect sense to use them as legal tender. And of course, this is going in, kind of echoing the sentiments of the Dutch central bank, where they said gold is the perfect piggy bank. It's the perfect reserve. It's the anchor of trust for the financial system. If the system collapses, the gold can serve as a basis to build it up again. And this is the very central bank that has a gold account, the gold revaluation account on tap, ready to go. And we can see definitely fireworks on the top side for gold because it's being adopted. It's being remonetized. Silver is being remonetized. And we got to keep an eye on this and stand for delivery. The proxy's going to come and go. The paper market's always going to be there. The spot price is the paper price. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the physical. Stand for deliver on the physical, and you can never go wrong. And you got to keep it real. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll keep it real. Jerry, thank you, and we'll talk to everyone again soon. Thanks for joining.
Cheers.